Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.
The air at ABC General Hospital is thick with more than just the usual scent of antiseptic and anxiety. As the week of November 24th to 28th, 2025, dawns over Port Charles, it carries with it the chilling weight of impending revelations, the fragile warmth of tentative reconciliations, and the ruthless calculations of those who play with human lives as if they were pieces on a chessboard. The corridors of the hospital, usually a stage for medical miracles and tragedies, are about to become the backdrop for a series of personal cataclysms that will leave no life untouched. The events of the previous week have left scars that are still fresh, secrets that are straining at their seams, and alliances that are more fragile than a patient's failing heartbeat. The epicenter of the coming storm is, without a doubt, the unresolved fate of the beloved Chief of Staff, Dr. Julian Monroe. His mysterious collapse at the hospital's annual fundraising gala has sent shockwaves through the entire institution. Initially thought to be a severe cardiac event, preliminary toxicology reports have now hinted at something far more sinister, a complex, undetectable toxin that points unequivocally to foul play. The question on everyone's lips is not just who would do this, but why, and, most pressingly, will he survive? Dr. Marcus Thorne, Julian's protege and the man temporarily holding the reins of the hospital, feels the pressure mounting with every passing hour. He is being watched, not just by the board of directors, but by a killer who may be lurking within their very ranks. His mandate is clear: keep the hospital running smoothly and the scandal contained. But his personal mission, born of a deep loyalty to his mentor, is to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. This mission brings him into immediate and volatile conflict with internal affairs investigator Eva Rostova. Rostova, a woman with a steely gaze and a reputation for ruthless efficiency, sees the hospital not as a place of healing but as a crime scene. She believes the attempted murder of Dr. Monroe is an inside job, and she is methodically turning the institution inside out, treating every doctor, nurse, and administrator as a potential suspect. Her first point of order on Monday morning is to summon Dr. Thorne for a formal interview. The tension in the conference room is palpable. She lays out a timeline of events leading up to the gala, pressing Thorne on his whereabouts and his relationship with Monroe. She subtly implies that Thorne, as the primary beneficiary of Monroe's potential demise, has a clear motive. Thorne, usually unflappable, finds his temper fraying. He defends his mentor and himself with fierce conviction, but Rostova's cool, insinuating questions plant a seed of doubt, not in his own mind, but in the audience of hospital staff observing the spectacle. The clash is not just professional, it's a fundamental battle of ideologies. Thorne represents trust and loyalty, Rostova represents suspicion and the cold, hard pursuit of facts. This conflict will define the entire week, creating an atmosphere of paranoia where whispered conversations in the break room suddenly take on a sinister new meaning. While the administration battles for its soul, the emergency room is facing a crisis of a different kind. A multi-vehicle pileup on the I-90 freeway, caused by an early morning fog bank, is about to flood the ER with a wave of critical patients. This event serves as a crucible, testing the mettle of the hospital's staff under extreme pressure and forcing personal dramas to be momentarily set aside in the face of overwhelming medical need. Among the first responders is Dr. Liam Chin, a brilliant but emotionally guarded surgeon still reeling from a bitter breakup with paramedic Sophia Reyes. Their split was messy, fueled by professional rivalry and a fundamental disagreement about their future. They have been avoiding each other for weeks, but the chaos of the mass casualty incident throws them together in a high-stakes dance of triage and trauma care. The first victims arrive, and the ER descends into organized chaos. Chin is tasked with a critical thoracotomy on a young man with a flail chest, while Reyes is managing the influx, her voice a calm, steady anchor in the storm. Their eyes meet across the trauma bay, a fleeting moment charged with a history of love and pain. They don't speak, but a silent, professional understanding passes between them. They are, for now, doctor and paramedic, not ex-lovers. However, the fragile truce is shattered when a second wave of ambulances arrives, carrying a patient that changes everything, a pregnant woman in her third trimester, showing signs of placental abruption. Her vitals are crashing. Chin makes the call: an emergency C-section is the only chance to save both mother and child. The scene that follows is a masterclass in high-pressure medicine. Chen's hands are steady, his commands crisp. Reyes assists, her own expertise invaluable in stabilizing the mother. In the tense silence of the OR, broken only by the beeping of monitors and the surgeon's terse commands, they work in perfect, painful harmony. The baby is delivered, a tiny, fragile life, and rushed to the NICU. The mother is stabilized. In the aftermath, covered in sweat and exhaustion, they share a look that is stripped of all pretense. The anger is gone, replaced by a shared, profound respect and the ghost of what they once had. It's a pivotal moment, a crack in the wall between them, but it's not yet a breakthrough. The emotional wounds are still too fresh. Meanwhile, in the relative quiet of the neurology department, another kind of drama is unfolding, one of memory, identity, and a love that refuses to be erased. Nurse Elizabeth Baldwin has been at the bedside of her amnesiac husband, Finn, for weeks. The man she loves has no memory of their life together, their children, or the vows they exchanged. He is a stranger in his own skin, polite and distant. Elizabeth's unwavering faith has been a beacon of hope for their family, but even beacons can flicker. The strain is beginning to show. She spends her days caring for him, showing him photo albums, telling him stories of their past, all while watching a blankness in his eyes that breaks her heart a little more each day. The breakthrough, when it comes, is not a dramatic, full-scale restoration. It's a whisper, a flicker of light in the fog. On Tuesday afternoon, Elizabeth is helping him with his physical therapy, guiding him through simple exercises. A song comes on the hospital's overhead system, a forgotten pop ballad from a decade ago. Elizabeth freezes. It was their song, the one they danced to at their wedding. She looks at Finn, expecting his usual polite confusion. But instead, she sees a change. His brow furrows. He stops moving and looks at her, truly looks at her, for the first time since the accident that stole his memory. "I know this song," he whispers, his voice hoarse with disuse and emotion. We danced. You wore a blue dress. There were fireflies, in the garden?" Elizabeth's breath catches in her throat. Tears well in her eyes, spilling over before she can stop them. He remembers. It's a fragment, a single, shimmering piece of their life, but it's enough. It's everything. She reaches for his hand, and this time, he doesn't pull away. Instead, his fingers curl around hers, tentative but firm. It's not a full homecoming, but it's the first step on a long road back. The moment is intimate and powerful, a testament to the resilience of the human heart and the indelible nature of true love. For the first time in a long time, Elizabeth allows herself to feel a hope that is not tinged with despair. But for every moment of light at ABC General, there is a corresponding shadow. In the labyrinthine basement, where the hum of the generators masks clandestine conversations, a different plot is thickening. The powerful and manipulative Cassandra Wilder, heiress to the Wilder pharmaceutical empire, has been playing a long game. Her company, Wilder Pharm, has been funneling significant, undisclosed funds into the hospital's research wing, specifically into a cutting-edge, but highly controversial, gene therapy trial led by the ambitious Dr. Aaron Vance. Cassandra's interest is not altruistic, it's about profit and control. She sees the hospital not as a sanctuary but as a testing ground and a marketplace. This week, she decides to tighten her grip. She summons Dr. Vance to a discreet, off-site location, an opulent, sterile penthouse office that overlooks the city. The view is a metaphor for her ambition. She sees everything, and she wants to own it all. She presents Vance with new, adjusted data for his trial, data that minimizes the side effects and exaggerates the efficacy of their flagship drug, Genexa. She wants him to present these findings at an upcoming international medical symposium, a move that would send Wilder Pharm's stock soaring and secure FDA fast-tracking. Vance is a man torn. He is a scientist at heart, and he knows the data is falsified. He believes in his therapy, but he also believes in the scientific method. The ethical line is clear to him, but Cassandra expertly blurs it with promises of unlimited research funding, a named chair at the university, and a legacy that would eclipse every other researcher in his field. She appeals to his ego and his ambition, two of his most potent drivers. "Think of the lives you could save, Aaron," she purrs, her voice like silk wrapped around steel. "Once it's approved, you can refine it. The ends justify the means. Don't let petty morality stand in the way of a medical revolution." The confrontation is a masterclass in psychological manipulation. Vance leaves the meeting visibly shaken, the weight of his decision pressing down on him. He spends the rest of the day in his lab, staring at the two sets of data, the real and the fabricated, as if they were two paths diverging in a wood. His choice will not only define his career but also the lives of countless future patients. The corruption is no longer an abstract concept, it has a face, a name, and it is knocking at his door, demanding to be let in. As Wednesday unfolds, the personal and professional crises continue to intersect. The fallout from the mass casualty incident forces Dr. Liam Chen and Sophia Reyes into continued proximity. The rescued newborn, named Baby Hope by the NICU staff, is fighting for her life, and both Chen and Reyes find themselves drawn to the infant's isolette, their shared concern for the tiny patient creating a new, fragile bridge between them. During a quiet moment in the NICU viewing room, overlooking the rows of premature infants, they finally talk. The conversation is hesitant, filled with long pauses and unspoken apologies. "I saw you in there," Reyes says softly, not looking at him. "You were incredible." "We both were," Chen replies, his voice equally quiet. "It was like it used to be." "Was it?" she asks, finally turning to meet his gaze. "Or are we just good at pretending when lives are on the line?" The question hangs in the air between them. It's not a reconciliation, but it's the first honest communication they've had in months. They acknowledge the pain, the miscommunications, and the ways they failed each other. They don't solve anything, but they agree to try talking again, without the pressure of a life-or-death situation. It's a small, tentative step, but in the high-drama world of ABC General, even the smallest steps can feel like monumental journeys. Back in the realm of the Monroe investigation, the plot takes a shocking and personal turn. Investigator Rostova, having hit a wall with Dr. Thorne, shifts her focus. Her digging into Julian Monroe's personal life uncovers a series of large, secretive financial transfers from his accounts to an offshore bank. The recipient is a name that sends a jolt through the entire hospital, Dr. Sarah Bennett, the head of pediatrics and a woman renowned for her compassion and integrity. The revelation is devastating. Sarah and Julian were known to be close friends and colleagues for over 20 years. Why would she need such a large sum of money? And why would Julian pay it secretly? Rostova pounces. She confronts Sarah Bennett in the middle of the pediatric ward, in front of her staff and young patients. The scene is brutal and humiliating. Rostova lays out the financial evidence, her tone accusatory and cold. Sarah is blindsided, her face a mask of shock and horror. She stammers, unable to form a coherent explanation, which Rostova interprets as a clear admission of guilt. By the end of the day, Sarah Bennett is suspended from her duties, pending a full investigation. The hospital is thrown into a new kind of turmoil. If someone as beloved and trusted as Sarah Bennett could be capable of attempted murder for financial gain, then no one is safe. Trust, the very foundation of the hospital, begins to crumble. This development also forces Dr. Thorne to question everything he thought he knew. He had trusted Sarah implicitly. Was he a fool? His determination to clear his mentor's name now becomes a mission to uncover the truth about Sarah as well. He knows there must be more to the story, and he begins his own clandestine investigation, operating in the shadows to avoid Rostova's notice. He discovers that the payments coincided with the time Sarah's brother, a former addict, disappeared after a serious legal trouble. The pieces of a different puzzle begin to fall into place, suggesting a story of blackmail and protection, not greed and murder. Thorne realizes that Rostova's single-minded pursuit of an easy answer may be leading her, and the entire investigation, dangerously astray. Thursday brings the long-awaited results of the full toxicology report on Dr. Monroe. The substance is identified as aconitine X, a rare, synthetic derivative of a wolfsbane plant, engineered to be slow-acting and virtually undetectable in standard screenings. The method of delivery is even more chilling. It was administered through the starch in his tuxedo shirt, absorbed transdermally over the course of the evening. This was not a crime of passion, it was a meticulously planned, cold-blooded assassination attempt that required specific knowledge of chemistry, access to Monroe's personal effects, and a chilling patience. The list of suspects narrows dramatically, but the implications widen. The killer is sophisticated, resourceful, and has a deep, personal vendetta against Monroe. The stakes are raised immeasurably. The news of the toxin sends a very specific, private shockwave through one person, Cassandra Wilder. In the privacy of her office, she receives a secure message. She reads it, and for the first time, her mask of cool composure slips, revealing a flicker of genuine fear. It becomes clear that her corporate machinations and the attack on Monroe are not separate storylines, they are deeply, dangerously intertwined. She immediately places a call to her head of security, her orders sharp and urgent: contain this. At any cost. The shadow over ABC General Hospital grows longer and darker. As the week draws to a close on Friday, November 28th, the characters are left to survey the landscape of their changed lives. Dr. Julian Monroe remains in a medically induced coma, his prognosis uncertain. The battle for his life is now a battle for the truth behind the poison that threatens it. Dr. Marcus Thorne is now a man operating on two fronts. Publicly, he is the composed leader managing a crisis. Privately, he is a detective digging into the dark underbelly of his own hospital, unsure of who he can trust. The tentative connection between Liam Chin and Sophia Reyes is tested when baby Hope's condition takes a sudden, dire turn. Faced with the potential loss of the infant who brought them back together, they are forced to confront their own fragility and the preciousness of second chances. In the high-stakes environment of the NICU, they must rely on each other completely, and in doing so, they may find their way back to the love they thought they had lost. For Elizabeth and Finn Baldwin, the flicker of memory has ignited a small, steady flame. Finn is now actively participating in his recovery, asking questions about his past, about their children, about their life. The journey ahead is long, and there will be setbacks, but the wall of amnesia has been breached. Hope, once a desperate prayer, is now a tangible presence in his hospital room. And in the most dramatic cliffhanger of the week, Dr. Aaron Vance makes his choice. Standing before the hospital's ethics board in a preliminary review meeting, he is about to present his data on the Genexa trial. He has the falsified report in his hand, the one Cassandra Wilder gave him. He looks out at the faces of his colleagues, at the portrait of Dr. Julian Monroe hanging on the wall, a man who built his career on integrity. He takes a deep breath. The future of his career, his relationship with Wilder Farm, and the lives of countless patients hang in the balance. He begins to speak, and the screen fades to black, leaving the audience with one burning question: which dataset did he choose? The one that will make him a star, or the one that will let him sleep at night? The week of November 24th to 28th, 2025, at ABC General Hospital has been a transformative one. Alliances have been shattered and new ones forged in fire. Love has been tested and in some cases, rediscovered. And the shadow of a cunning, patient killer still looms, promising that the healing has only just begun, and the next week will bring even greater challenges, deeper betrayals, and more shocking truths to light. The pulse of the hospital beats on, a rhythm syncopated with the beating hearts of the people within it, a rhythm of life, death, and everything in between. The week in Port Charles begins with the kind of tension that seems to seep into every corner of town, as if the air itself knows that something big is coming. Early Monday morning, the hospital halls are buzzing, nurses moving quickly, doctors reviewing charts, and an undercurrent of concern running through them all. Elizabeth looks over the board when Finn walks up behind her, and she senses immediately that something is off. "You look like you didn't sleep," she says softly, and Finn sighs, rubbing the back of his neck. "I didn't. There's something happening with Gregory's case files. Something I thought was settled isn't settled at all." Elizabeth touches his arm. "Finn, whatever it is, you don't have to handle it alone." He hesitates before nodding, as if admitting that maybe he needs help is a heavier lift than dealing with the problem itself. Meanwhile, Anna steps into her office at the PCPD, and her eyes immediately narrow when she sees that a folder is sitting dead center on her desk. She didn't leave it there. When she opens it, the breath catches in her chest. Inside are surveillance photos from the Metro Court explosion, angles she's never seen before, frames that show a shadowy figure just seconds before the blast. And in the corner of one picture, Valentine appears to be speaking with someone whose face is obscured. When Jordan knocks and enters, she sees the look on Anna's face. "What is it?" Jordan asks, and Anna pushes the folder toward her. "Someone wants me to know this. Someone wants me to look at Valentine again." Jordan lifts her eyebrows. "Do you think he's involved?" Anna shakes her head in frustration. I don't know. And that terrifies me. Across town, Sunny stands behind his desk at the safe house, one of several he rotates through, while Brick updates him on the security breach that occurred 2 nights earlier. Sunny's jaw tightens as Brick finishes the last detail. So someone got close enough to plant a device, close enough to know the guard rotation, but not close enough to get seen on any camera. Brick nods. Exactly. Whoever it was? They know you. They know how you operate. Sunny exhales slowly, controlled but furious. Then we find them before they get another chance. Dex, standing quietly in the corner, speaks up. I think this ties back to that shipment that went missing. Whoever grabbed it is escalating. Sunny stares him down for a moment. Then find out who they are, and don't come back without answers. Carly steps into Bobby's and tries to focus on setting up for the day, but her mind keeps replaying the argument she and Sunny had the night before. Jocelyn arrives, sensing her mother's tension almost immediately. Mom, you're doing that thing where you pretend you're fine while you slam cabinets like they personally offended you. Carly forces a smile. I'm not slamming anything. Joss folds her arms. Talk to me. Carly finally stops moving. Your father is keeping things from me again. Big things. Joss frowns. When is he not? Carly shakes her head. This is different. I can feel it. Joss sets a hand on Carly's shoulder, softening. Then tell him you won't be shut out. Carly laughs bitterly. I already did. The question is whether he's going to listen. At the Quartermain mansion, Ned, still grappling with memories that return in flashes rather than the full picture, sits at the piano tapping a few keys. Olivia walks in carrying fresh coffee, but immediately her smile softens with concern. Rough morning? Ned exhales. I keep dreaming about something. Something that feels big. Something I should remember. Olivia sits beside him. It will come. You don't have to force it. Ned gives her a faint smile. You've been saying that for months. Olivia cups his cheek. Because I believe it. Their moment is interrupted when Brooklyn bursts in holding her phone. Mom, Dad, you need to see this. She shows them a news alert, rumors about ELQ facing an internal audit leak. Ned stiffens. This came from inside. Brooklyn bites her lip. Yeah, and I think I know who. Over at GH, Sam sits with Spinelli in the waiting area as he works through a heavily encrypted data stream on his laptop. You're sure this came from the same server? Sam asks, and Spinelli nods rapidly. Positively. The digital signature matches precisely. Which means someone in Port Charles is rerouting communications to a shell network. Sam leans in. Can you find out who? Spinelli pauses, biting his lower lip. Yes, but I must warn you, the answer may be someone uncomfortably close. Sam crosses her arms. I'm already expecting that. As Tuesday unfolds, Ava visits Trina at the gallery to check on the new installation. Trina gives a small smile, though it's clear she's preoccupied. Ava notices immediately. What's going on? Trina sighs. It's Spencer. Every time I think I'm ready to let him go, something reminds me, Ava cuts in gently, that you loved him. Trina, that doesn't disappear overnight. Trina nods sadly. I know. But I don't know how to move forward. Ava's voice softens even more. Then don't force yourself. Healing isn't linear. Just then, Marshall walks in with a folder under his arm. Trina, I found the historical documents you requested for the exhibition. Trina brightens a bit. Thank you. Ava watches the exchange, noticing something in Marshall's expression, a tension, subtle but unmistakable. At the same time, Curtis heads to physical therapy but is irritated when the therapist, acting on new test results, delays the session. Curtis demands answers, and Portia shows up just in time to explain. Curtis, some inflammation markers have spiked. We need to run more tests. Curtis clenches his jaw. I'm tired of tests, Portia. I'm tired of waiting. She steps closer. I know. But if we push too hard and something happens, Curtis cuts her off. I want my life back. I want mobility back. I want us back. Portia reaches for him but hesitates when she senses his frustration. We're going to get through this, she insists, but Curtis looks away, struggling to believe it. Wednesday brings more upheaval as Sasha, after a long morning at Deception, stops by GH to check on a patient she's mentoring through a new program she developed. Cody meets her in the lobby with a hopeful, half-nervous look. I was thinking we could grab dinner tonight, he says carefully. Sasha smiles but shakes her head. I can't tonight. I have a meeting. Cody's face falls slightly. Another meeting? Sasha sighs. Cody, I'm trying to build something real for my future. I need space to do that. Cody nods, trying to hide his disappointment. I get it. I just miss when things felt simple. Sasha touches his arm gently. Simple wasn't always good for me. Cody swallows hard. Yeah. I know. At Windmere, Esme, who has regained more memories than she lets on, sits by the fireplace holding a small box she's kept hidden for months. Inside is a flash drive belonging to Nicholas. She runs her thumb over it and whispers, "This changes everything." When Nicholas enters, she quickly hides the box under a pillow. He eyes her suspiciously. What are you doing in here? Esme smiles sweetly. Just looking for Ace's blanket. Nicholas narrows his gaze. If you're lying to me again, she interrupts, why would I lie? Nicholas steps closer, lowering his voice. Because you always do. Esme blinks innocently. Maybe you should stop assuming the worst. But when he leaves, her expression hardens. She whispers, you'll see soon enough. Thursday, a major turning point hits when Anna confronts Valentine at his hotel suite. She throws the surveillance photos onto the table. Explain these. Valentine glances at them, utterly composed. I already told you I wasn't involved. Anna snaps, then why do you look like you're speaking with the man who planted the bomb? Valentine's voice goes quiet. Because I was warning him. Anna stiffens. Warning him? Valentine steps forward. I didn't know he'd actually do it. I thought he was bluffing. I thought I could stop him. Anna's voice breaks, why didn't you tell me? Valentine's expression is pained. Because I knew you'd walk away from me. Anna turns her face away, tears gathering. You don't get to decide what I can handle. Valentine whispers, I'm sorry. But Anna shakes her head. Sorry isn't enough this time. Sunny receives new intel from Brick, pointing to an unexpected suspect in the threat against him. You're not gonna like this, Brick warns. Sunny replies coolly, just say it. Brick hesitates. All the threads lead to someone tied to Pikeman. Someone you had a deal with. Sunny's face darkens. Jason? Brick shakes his head quickly. No. Not Jason. Someone Jason once protected. Sunny leans back slowly, absorbing the implication. Then it's personal. Dex watches, feeling the temperature in the room drop, and asks, what do you want us to do? Sunny answers, prep the warehouse. We're ending this. Later that day, Carly receives a message urging her to go to the Metro Court rooftop. When she arrives, she finds a single envelope taped to the railing. Inside is a photo of Sunny with his back turned, taken just hours earlier. Written across the bottom are the words, you can't protect him. Carly inhales sharply, fear creeping into her chest. She immediately calls Sunny, but he doesn't answer. Joss finds her minutes later and gasps when she sees the picture. This isn't random, Joss says. Carly nods. I know exactly who this is meant for. Friday brings the week to an emotional crescendo when Sam and Spinelli discover the identity of the person behind the rerouted communications. Sam reads the name on the screen and whispers, "No. No, that doesn't make sense." Spinelli adjusts his glasses. "I'm afraid it does." Sam paces. If this is right, then someone at GH has been feeding intel to Pikeman. Spinelli shuts the laptop. "Then we must proceed cautiously." Sam shakes her head. "Cautiously? This could blow everything wide open." At GH, Esme arrives for a meeting with Kevin, but instead of sitting down, she closes the door and pulls out the small box. Kevin looks at it with deep concern. "Esme, what is that?" Esme answers, "Proof. Proof that Nicholas has been lying." Kevin folds his arms. "And why bring this to me?" Esme replies quietly, "Because you're the only person who ever treated me like I wasn't a lost cause." She hands him the flash drive. "This will change everything. And I'm ready for that." Kevin hesitates but takes the drive. "Esme, once we open this, there's no turning back." Esme nods. "I know." In the final hours of the week, Sunny arrives at the warehouse for the confrontation Brick arranged. The room is dimly lit, quiet except for water dripping somewhere in the distance. Dex moves beside him, gun holstered but ready. From the shadows steps the figure they've been hunting. Sunny narrows his eyes. "So it was you." The man replies coolly, "You shouldn't have broken the deal." Sunny's voice is steady but deadly. "You came after my family." The man smirks. "You made it easy." Dex tenses, ready to act, but Sunny lifts a hand, holding him back. "You're going to tell me everything," Sunny says, stepping closer. But the man laughs. "You're already too late." Back at GH, Elizabeth finally confronts Finn after discovering what he was hiding about Gregory's files. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asks. Finn exhales heavily. "Because the case isn't closed. Someone altered Gregory's medical records." Elizabeth freezes. "Why would anyone do that?" Finn looks tormented. "Because it wasn't natural. Someone wanted us to believe it was." Elizabeth's hand covers her mouth. "Oh my God, who?" Finn shakes his head helplessly. "I don't know. But I will find out." As the clock strikes the end of the week, the camera metaphorically pans across Port Charles, Carly staring at the threatening photo, Anna clutching the surveillance file, Sunny facing a dangerous enemy, Esme handing over the flash drive, Sam following a trail of corruption.